America is full of legends, cowboys, astronauts, inventors, but none are quite like Florida Man. He's not just one guy, he's a headline, a tradition, and maybe the most entertaining character this country has ever produced. From wild gator encounters to unbelievable stunts gone wrong, Florida Man has turned everyday life into breaking news. He's chaotic, fearless, and sometimes downright unbelievable. But that's exactly why we love him. So let's dive into the chaos and count down the top 33 dumbest and most hilarious Florida Man stories in American history. Number 1. Florida, 2016. A state trooper pulls over a man for speeding. Pretty normal stop, right? Except this guy refuses to hand over his license. Instead, he proudly holds up a laminated card that says he's a sovereign citizen. His argument? "I'm not driving, I'm traveling upon the land." He says it like it's a magic spell that makes laws disappear. The officer doesn't even flinch. He just says, "That's great." The man traveling upon the land is still getting a ticket. Imagine the confidence it takes to think you've outsmarted 200 years of traffic law with a printer and some laminate sheets. Florida Man thought he was declaring independence. Turns out, he was just declaring court fees. Number 2. Florida, 2019. A man walks into a gas station wearing a hoodie, his hand tucked under his shirt like he's packing heat. He demands cash. The cashier freezes, stares, and notices something off. The gun under his shirt? It's not a gun at all. It's a Nintendo Wii remote. Yes, the controller you swing around to play virtual bowling. Florida Man actually tried to hold up a gas station with gaming technology. At first, the cashier laughs until the batteries pop out and roll across the counter. The illusion is gone. By the time deputies arrive, the guy is sitting on the curb in cuffs, still insisting it's a gun. The officer's report summed it up perfectly. Suspect armed with motion-sensing technology. Only in America do you get a robbery attempt powered by AA batteries. Number 3. Florida, 2025. 2 in the morning. A sheriff's helicopter is circling overhead, doing routine patrols. Suddenly, the pilot's vision fills with a blinding green flash, a laser pointer. Down on the ground, Florida Man is standing in his driveway, one hand holding binoculars, the other firing a laser at the chopper. When deputies roll up, he shrugs and says, "I was just being silly." Silly? Silly is mismatched socks. Silly is bad karaoke. Blinding a pilot mid-flight? That's a felony. Imagine trying to convince the judge, "Your Honor, it was just a joke." Yeah, a joke with prison time as the punchline. Number 4. Florida, 2025. A shopping plaza calls police about a trespasser. Deputies show up and find Ronald McDonald, not an employee in uniform, an actual grown man in full clown gear. Yellow jumpsuit, giant red shoes, painted face, bright wig. They ask what he's doing there. He screams, "I am a clown, stupid." That's his legal defense. Not "I'm sorry," not "I'll leave," but pure clown logic. He gets arrested, face paint smeared, wig sliding off, shoes squeaking against the squad car floor. Imagine being the deputy filling out the paperwork. Subject: one clown, armed with bad decisions and a poor attitude. The Hamburglar would have been proud. Number 5. Florida, 2014. A man meets a woman on a dating app and invites her out. Dinner goes fine. Small talk is normal until he asks if he can smell her feet. She declines. Most people would let it go. He doesn't. He keeps asking. She keeps saying no. The date ends. She walks away. And instead of accepting rejection like an adult, Florida Man gets in his car, floors it, and actually runs her over. She survives, thankfully. He doesn't get away. The cops arrest him, and the dating app probably bans him forever. It's the only date in history where the words romantic red flags turned into an actual red light. Some guys bring flowers, some guys write poems. This guy brought a felony hit and run. Number 6. Florida, 1995. A man is fishing in a canal when he spots an alligator. Most people would quietly back away. not Florida Man. He rips his shirt off, jumps in the water, and announces to his friends that he's going to wrestle it. For about 3 seconds, he actually looked like he might have it under control. Then reality and the gator hit him hard. Within moments, the gator proved who the real apex predator was. He didn't make it. Police later called it death by poor decision-making. Locals just shook their heads and said, "Yep, Florida." Number 7. Florida, 2002. It's the 4th of July, fireworks are booming, and Florida Man wants to stand out. Lighting them on the ground is boring. Holding them in your hand? Too safe, so he straps one to his head like a party hat and lights the fuse. His friends cheer, until the firework explodes exactly where fireworks should never explode. Paramedics were called, but there wasn't much to save. The coroner's note could have said, "Cause of death," trying to become his own grand finale. Number 8. Florida, 2010. A shopping mall security team gets a call about unusual activity on the escalators. They check the cameras and see a grown man riding a shopping cart down the escalator, screaming like he's on a roller coaster. The cart makes it halfway before flipping, launching him into a kiosk full of phone cases. He doesn't survive. Witnesses said it looked like a deleted scene from Jackass. The headline the next day, Florida Man dies after mistaking escalator for extreme sport. Number 9. Florida, 1987. It's late at night near a railroad crossing. A group of buddies are hanging out drinking, daring each other to do dumb things. Because what else is there to do on a Friday night? One guy suddenly announces, "I can beat the train." Everyone laughs, thinking he's joking. He's not. He hops into his old pickup, revs the engine like he's in Fast and Furious, and tells them to watch this. They do. The train does too. He floors it, barreling toward the tracks, headlights glaring. But the train is already there, horn blaring, unstoppable. The truck doesn't stand a chance. It's shredded instantly, leaving nothing but twisted metal scattered like confetti. The sheriff summed it up at the scene. "You never win against a train." And he was right. The train's record? Undefeated. Florida Man's permanently retired. Number 10. Florida, 2008. County Fair. Fried food, carnival rides, families everywhere. And then, Florida Man. He's had a few too many beers and decides the mechanical bull isn't thrilling enough on its own. So he pulls a firework out of his pocket, a big one, lights it, and climbs on the bull with it in his hand like some kind of rodeo gladiator. The crowd stares, half cheering, half horrified. The bull starts bucking, the fireworks start sparking, and suddenly this man is hosting his own one-man demolition derby. The bull jerks, the firework goes off, and boom! He's thrown to the dirt in a cloud of smoke and chaos. Paramedics rush in, but it's too late. Spectators said it was the craziest thing they'd ever seen. Like a 4th of July show if the firework was also the cowboy. His obituary might as well have read, "Died as he lived, confusing entertainment with survival skills." Number 11. Florida, 2001. At a Tampa casino, most people were quietly feeding coins into the machines, sipping drinks, and hoping for luck. But not Florida Man. Nope. He wanted to become the jackpot. Security cameras caught him climbing on top of a slot machine, wobbling in cowboy boots, holding a beer like a trophy. He shouted, "Watch this!" Vegas, baby. Except, he wasn't in Vegas. He was in Tampa, and balance was not his strong suit. He tried a backflip. For half a second, it looked like he might stick the landing. Then gravity remembered he owed it money. He landed headfirst on the casino carpet while the slot machine kept spinning 3 cherries in mocking silence. Paramedics were called, gamblers kept gambling, and the casino manager summed it up perfectly. The house always wins. 12. Florida, 1999. One man decided lawn care was beneath him. Pushing a mower? Too basic. So he became an inventor. He welded lawnmower blades to the bumper of his old Chevy, called it the Lawninator 3000, and revved the engine. Neighbors watched in horror as he tore across his front yard, grass flying everywhere like confetti. For about 5 minutes, it actually worked. He even honked like he was in a parade. But physics wasn't invited to the block party. One blade snapped off, ricocheted across the driveway, and came back like a boomerang, straight into him. By the time first responders arrived, the lawninator was smoking in the driveway, and his lawn was only half cut. Lesson learned: leave engineering to engineers. Number 13, Florida, 2012. Backyard barbecue, beers flowing, music blasting. One man decides burgers and hot dogs aren't enough entertainment. He wanted pyrotechnics. He grabs a jug of gasoline, takes a mouthful, and declares, "I'm gonna do that fire breather thing!" His friends cheer nervously as he spits a plume toward a lighter. The fireball that erupts could have lit up a football stadium. For about 3 seconds, he looked like a medieval dragon. Then his face caught the blast. His shirt ignited, and he collapsed. Paramedics later said it was one of the dumbest preventable accidents they'd ever seen. His friends put it simpler: "Bro, this ain't Cirque du Soleil. This is a backyard barbecue." Number 14, Florida, 1994. Even when Florida man leaves the state, the chaos follows. This guy drove all the way to Colorado for a ski trip. At the slopes, signs everywhere warned, "Danger, avalanche zone." Normal people read that as "stay away." Florida man read it as "challenge accepted." He skied straight into the restricted area, bragging to friends that rules don't apply to him. Within seconds, the snow cracked and an avalanche roared down. His buddies made it back. He didn't. Locals said only a Florida guy would travel 2,000 miles to ignore a sign and argue with a mountain. Turns out, avalanches don't negotiate. Number 15, Florida, 2007. Midnight in a quiet suburban neighborhood. A burglar slips through a window, flashlight in hand, ready to score some electronics. But in the dark living room, he stumbles into something massive, a 300-gallon fish tank. He crashes through it like a stuntman in slow motion, and suddenly, he's not robbing a house. He's drowning in it. Hundreds of gallons of water flood the floor, tropical fish scatter, and the man is pinned under broken glass. By the time the homeowners come running, they find their would-be thief floating face down among their guppies. Police later said it was the first burglary foiled by a goldfish. The fish just called it Tuesday night. Number 16, Florida, 2019. A supermarket manager calls police about a disturbance in the seafood aisle. They arrive to find Florida man on the ground, pants around his ankles, wrestling with a lobster. Turns out he had tried to shoplift the crustacean by shoving it down his jeans. For a few glorious minutes, he was winning. Then the lobster did what lobsters do. By the time security reached him, he was screaming, "It's biting me!" and the lobster was clamped on for dear life. The manager just shook his head and said, "We don't even have a self-checkout for that." Number 17, Florida, 2017. Neighbors report a man flying. Deputies arrive to find Florida man wearing a homemade jetpack, 2 leaf blowers duct taped to a backpack. For a split second, he actually achieved liftoff, 6 feet in the air, screaming, "I'm Iron Man!" Then the extension cord yanked free, the blowers died, and gravity reminded him of his limits. He crash-landed in a Publix parking lot, taking out 3 shopping carts and his pride. The officer wrote it up as unauthorized aviation attempt. Number 18, Florida, 2018. Most people go to the police station to report theft, maybe file a complaint, maybe ask for directions. Not this guy. He storms through the lobby like he owns the place, slams a tiny baggie on the front desk, and shouts, "My dealer ripped me off!" The sergeant on duty blinks once slowly like he's trying to reboot his brain. He picks up the bag, squints, and realizes it's not even drugs. It's powdered drywall. The officer doesn't even ask question. He just cuffs him. Florida man got scammed twice. First by his dealer, who sold him construction material, and second by his own brain, which thought walking into a police station with it was a good idea. His mugshot says everything, holding the bag like it's Exhibit A, eyes wide as if to say, "Can you believe this happened to me?" Yes. Yes, we can. Number 19. Florida, 2015. A convenience store clerk hits the panic button when a man bursts through the door, waving something under his arm. The first thought, gun. The second, maybe a bat. But no. When deputies arrive, they see the truth. Florida man is holding a live alligator, tucked under his arm like a football. He shouts, "Fill the bag or he bites!" The gator thrashes around, clearly wondering how it got dragged into this felony. Customers scatter, the clerk freezes, and deputies finally move in. They disarm the suspect by simply taking away the reptile, who frankly looked happier to see the cops than anyone else. Florida man goes to jail. The gator goes back to the swamp, and the cashier probably updates their resume the next morning. Number 20. Florida, 2020. Traffic backed up for miles. Drivers honking, tempers flaring. What's the holdup? A single man cruising down the fast lane. On a riding lawnmower. Sunglasses on, beer in hand, Florida man is taking his sweet time. Troopers finally pull him over and ask why he thought this was okay. He grins and says, "Better mileage, bro." They clocked him at 7 miles per hour. 7. He caused a 5-mile traffic jam just to save a few bucks on gas. Officers tow the mower, arrest him, and log the evidence. 1 John Deere, 1 half-empty beer, and 1 driver whose parting words were, "Gas is expensive. Grass is free." If wisdom had a Florida bumper sticker, that would be it. Number 21. Florida, 2011. Bartenders see all kinds of scams. People walking out on tabs, fake IDs, even counterfeit bills. But nothing prepared this bar for Florida man, who tried to pay his $48 tab with Monopoly money. He slapped down colorful play cash like it was gold, then argued when the bartender refused. "It's legal tender in my house," he shouted, as if his living room was the U.S. Treasury. When police arrived, he tried to hand them a get-out-of-jail-free card. They didn't laugh. They cuffed him. His bar tab? Still unpaid. Number 22. Florida, 2013. A group of friends are cruising down the highway when Florida man gets an idea. He climbs out of the car window and onto the roof, arms spread wide, yelling, "Film this for TikTok!" He stands tall, surfing the roof like he's auditioning for Fast and Furious 27. For about 20 seconds, he looks like the king of the road. Then the car swerves, he loses balance, and gravity cashes its check. He skids across the asphalt, his stunt ending not with likes but with sirens. The officer's report was blunt. Subject attempted vehicular surfing. Failed. Number 23. Florida, 2016. Deputies get a call about a strange orange animal roaming the neighborhood. They arrive to find a goat, painted bright orange. Florida man confessed he stole his neighbor's goat, grabbed a can of spray paint, and tried to pass it off as a rare exotic breed. His plan? Sell it for thousands online. The problem? It still bleated like a normal goat, smelled like a normal goat, and was covered in orange paint. Animal control was not amused. Florida man was arrested for theft and animal cruelty. The goat went home, still orange, but probably with the best story in the pasture. Number 24. Florida, 2010. After midnight, alarms blare at a Taco Bell. Police arrive expecting a burglary. Instead, they find Florida man in the kitchen, covered in shredded lettuce, cooking himself tacos. 17 tacos to be exact. He had broken in, fired up the grill, and thrown himself a private fiesta. When officers asked what he was doing, he shrugged and said, "I was hungry." They cuffed him as he stuffed one last taco into his mouth. Taco Bell later issued a statement, "We do not recommend breaking and entering as part of a balanced diet." Number 25. Florida, 2014. A family feud turns into a duel when two cousins argue about who's tougher. Florida man disappears into the garage and comes back holding pool noodles. Everyone laughs until he tapes kitchen knives inside them. He challenges his cousin to a real sword fight. Within minutes, chaos erupts. Neighbors call the cops after hearing shouts of "On guard!" in the driveway. By the time deputies arrive, one cousin is bleeding, the other is arrested, and the pool noodles are logged into evidence. The officer later wrote, "Weapons seized, 2 modified pool toys. Suspects, 1 idiot." Number 26. Florida, 2018. Holiday season, quiet suburban street. A family wakes up to find Florida man in their yard at 3 in the morning, completely naked, wrestling their giant inflatable Santa Claus. He's rolling around in the grass screaming, "You don't control Christmas!" The inflatable Santa is half deflated, tangled around him like a giant balloon python. When deputies arrive, he refuses to let go and insists Santa started it. Neighbors gathered, shaking their heads as police dragged him away in cuffs, Santa still squeaking under his arm. His charges? Trespassing, disorderly conduct, and, unofficially, attempted assault on St. Nick. Number 27, Florida, 2011. Deputies get a call about cars pulling up to a trailer where someone is handing beer and cigarettes out the window. When they arrive, they find Florida man has sawed a giant hole into the side of his trailer and turned it into a drive-through. He even put up a cardboard sign, "Open 24/7." Customers could pull up, honk, and he'd pop his head out with a 6-pack. Business was booming until an undercover officer pulled in and asked for a Bud Light. Florida man sold it, grinned, and said, "Y'all come back now." He was arrested immediately. Deputies later called it the most Florida version of fast food we've ever seen. Number 28, Florida, 2020. At 8 a.m., a Dunkin' Donuts gets a customer unlike any other. Florida man strolls in wearing full scuba gear, mask, snorkel, fins, the works. He slaps a soggy dollar bill on the counter and demands, "Give me all the coffee in the ocean." Employees stare, wondering if it's a prank. He bangs the counter with his snorkel for emphasis. Police are called when he refuses to leave, insisting he needs caffeine for the coral reef mission. Deputies finally escort him out, flippers smacking against the tile floor. Duncan's manager later told reporters, "We don't know what mission he was on, but he definitely wasn't America Runs on Duncan." Number 29, Florida, 2017. Jewelry store, middle of the day. Customers are browsing rings, bracelets, diamonds, the usual. Suddenly, Florida man walks in with his secret weapon, a parrot. He flings it into the air like it's Mission Impossible. The bird flaps around the ceiling, squawking, "Shiny! Shiny! Shiny!" A perfect distraction. While everyone's staring at the chaos, he tries to stuff necklaces into his pocket. But the bird betrays him. It escapes out the door, lands on a patrol car outside, and when deputies come in, the parrot points its beak at him and screams, "He's guilty! He's guilty!" The cops cuff him immediately. The officer's report literally lists the parrot as a cooperating witness. Somewhere in a cage right now, that bird is still bragging. Cracked the case. Number 30, Florida, 2013. It's a quiet afternoon at the public library. People are reading, kids are whispering, librarians are shushing. Then smoke fills the parking lot. Everyone rushes outside, and there's Florida man standing over a barbecue grill, flipping ribs, right there in front of the library doors. When asked what he's doing, he declares, "Books are dry rubs for the mind. This is dry rub for the soul." He even had a jar of sauce balanced on Moby Dick. Firefighters arrive, extinguish the grill, and deputies haul him away. He resists, not for freedom, but for his half-burnt ribs, which he clutches like treasure. The library added a brand new rule the next day: no grilling on premises. Number 31, Florida, 2019. Police respond to a report of a stolen ice cream truck. They find it parked behind a strip mall. Inside, muffled banging. They open the freezer. And there he is, a Florida man, shivering, surrounded by popsicles. He had hot-wired the truck, but curiosity got him. He climbed inside the freezer to check the inventory, and the door locked behind him. For 3 hours, he was trapped in a frozen tomb of fudgesicles, banging on the walls. When deputies pulled him out, he mumbled through chattering teeth, "I was checking expiration dates." The evidence list? 1 truck, 40 melted drumsticks, and 1 very frosty idiot. Number 32, Florida, 2021. A bar in Key West has a strict no pets rule, but rules are just suggestions to Florida man. He strolled in with a 6-foot python draped around his shoulders. Patrons screamed. The bartender shouted, "You can't bring that in here!" Florida man calmly replied, "He's my emotional support bartender." The snake slithered across the counter, knocking over beer bottles, tasting the peanuts, and nearly wrapping itself around the jukebox. Deputies arrived minutes later. They escorted both man and snake out as customers clapped like it was a floor show. His defense in court? Snakes don't judge you when you drink. The judge, however, definitely did. Number 33, Florida, 2018. Walmart parking lot. Shoppers step outside to find Florida man has staged a full wedding. Folding chairs in neat rows, string lights taped to lampposts, and a karaoke machine blasting love songs. He's dressed in a tuxedo t-shirt, standing proudly beside a shopping cart decorated with streamers, his limousine. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announces, "you're all invited." The problem? There's no bride, not even a date. Just him, reading vows to Walmart itself. "I take thee, rollback prices, to be my lawfully wedded partner." Deputies break it up halfway through the ceremony, but not before he blows a kiss to the store sign. He calls it love. The police call it trespassing. And there you have it, 33 of the dumbest, wildest, and most hilarious Florida man stories in American history. From sovereign citizens waving laminated cards, to gas station robberies powered by Wii controllers, to lawnmower joyrides on I-95, these stories prove one thing. America may run on Duncan, but Florida runs on chaos. Now it's your turn. Which Florida man headline shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments because I know you've seen some wild ones. And hey, if you're still here, you clearly enjoy watching America's finest Darwin Award auditions. So subscribe for more. Otherwise, you might just end up in the next video as Florida man ignores YouTube reminders.